This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, Malaysia. 93% of Muslim women are victims of female genital mutilation. My friends, yeah, we do shows on female genital mutilation, and we're not going to stop them. Because this barbaric crime, this life-shattering, life-maiming crime continues to be perpetrated against millions of women throughout the world, and most of them under Sharia and in the Islamic world. And it continues to ensue. It continues to be practiced, unabated. And unless we do something about this, it's not going to stop. The Glazov Gang is standing up for Muslim women and girls that are suffering under Sharia. And one of the barbarities of Sharia is female genital mutilation. We do a lot of other shows. We do a lot of other activism on honor killings, on child marriage, on acid attacks, on forced marriage, on forced veilings, etc., etc., etc. And female genital mutilation in what is one of those awful, barbaric crimes. Now, recently in Malaysia Today, they did a story on how in Malaysia, millions of girls continue to undergo FGM. Now, the story referenced a 2012 study that found that 93%, let that sink in, 93% of Muslim women in Malaysia have been mutilated by female genital mutilation. Now, Robert Spencer's Jihad Watch has covered this particular story recently in terms of this Malaysian context and what's happening in Malaysia. So just go to Jihad Watch and read all about it. And Robert Spencer's always on top of all of these things, and so much credit goes out to him and to Jihad Watch. You need to be reading that blog every day. Nothing's being done about this, and the left, very interestingly enough, is in the way of anything being done. And the left and Islam have joined forces, as we so often talk about, and that my work talks about, and that Annie Cyrus's work talks about. And their lies and their propaganda are in effect, and they always say that this has nothing to do with Islam, that female genital mutilation in Islam has nothing to do with Islam. My friends, female genital mutilation is widespread in Egypt, in Iraqi Kurdistan, in Somalia, in Sudan, in Mauritania, in Indonesia, in the Muslim parts of India, in Malaysia, and in many other Islamic environments. Now, in terms of the countries that I just mentioned, these countries share little in culture, share little in language, and share little in climate. So once again, what's the first clue? What is the common denominator? There is an instinct, ladies and gentlemen, in our culture, because the left controls our boundaries of discourse, to right away say, but this isn't Islam, this is not Islam. And I study this. This is the instinct that I study. I write about it in my book, United in Hate. I cover this in my new book, Jihad is Psychopath. And when because of this brainwashing, even many of you that are watching it right now, and you want to immediately say, oh no, but this has nothing to do with Islam. It really doesn't matter what you say. What matters is that the texts that the imams point to justify FGM. You see, you can say all you want. Oh, Jamie, this has nothing to do with Islam. No, no, no. You tell that to the imams and the muftis and the clerics who point to the texts to justify and sanction what they do in terms of FGM. My friends, the Reliance of the Traveler, which is the classical manual of Sharia law, it is endorsed by Al-Azhar University, which is the most prominent Sunni institution in the world. The Reliance of the Traveler mandates FGM. The Hadiths, Abu Dawood, Sahih Muslim, and Sahih Bukhari all mandate FGM. It is Islamic. And this problem is not going to go away. And thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of little Muslim girls are not going to be protected from this barbaric mutilation and crime until and unless the truth is told. Because once we confront the truth, the texts can be confronted and the texts can be repudiated, and then the cutters no longer will have the power to inflict the maiming that they want to inflict. My friends, do some Google searching on our previous shows if you haven't watched it. We've done a show on female genital mutilators flown into the United Kingdom. We've done a show, End FGM Today. We've done a show, Islamic female genital mutilation and denial. Look up those shows. I give a lot more information and all the resources that you can go to. And so one of them is you should get in touch with Elizabeth Yore, who is the founder of endfgmtoday.com. We're fully behind this wonderful organization, and they are trying to protect Muslim girls from this barbaric crime, and all girls. If it exists anywhere else outside of Islam, we want to stop that too. But it just so happens that Islam is the religion that sanctions this, that has it in its texts, and that's why it is mostly practiced in Islamic environments and why it's so difficult to stop it in Islamic environments, because it's rooted in the texts. Get in touch with endfgmtoday.com. The president is Elizabeth Yore. They're doing wonderful work. Support them. And I just want to remind you that my new book coming out, Jihadist Psychopath, explains why we are having such difficulty, why the civilized world has such difficulty in protecting Muslim girls. Because the jihadist psychopath has set up a plantation with the help of the left in brainwashing people to such an extent that they can't do anything to help Muslim girls. Because what this jihadist psychopath has done is somebody like me that wants to help Muslim girls, we're immediately told that we're Islamophobes, that we're racists, that we're bigots, that we're white supremacists. The left and Islam, they're very clever in how they've set this all up. That people who want to help people suffering under Sharia and jihad, they're labeled as bad people and as racists and white supremacists and all this. And it's working, because a lot of people are really afraid to say anything against Sharia law now because they'll be labeled with horrible names. And my book, Jihadist Psychopath, explains how this process works. Now, once you read Jihadist Psychopath, you're going to be able to equip yourself with the knowledge of how to outmaneuver the jihadist psychopath. And not just defend our civilization, which of course is the most important thing, but what comes along with that. By defending a beautiful civilization, we defend civilized behavior. And we can work and fight for a day where not one girl will be subjected to the barbaric practice of female genital mutilation. I have a dream today that we can stop it. But the only way we can do it is by telling the truth about its Islamic sources. And we will see you soon on the Glazov Gang and the Jamie Glazov Moment. Good night.